Before we get started with the video, I wanted to apologize for the microphone quality. Both of us are recording this through my phone. With that being said, let's get started. Surely all of you have seen this phenotype of man before, either online or sliding into your DMs. He could be in your philosophy class or living in your friend group like a soft-spoken background in PC. Yes, we're talking about the performative male. Performative male is basically a sleazy dude wrapped in a thrift store cardigan. He's not out here catcalling strangers at the gas station. He's weaponizing sensitivity. He's the type to say, I just want to uplift women, right before asking if you want to come over and watch The Notebook. He's like a Trojan horse, but instead of soldiers, it's just unwashed energy inside. To put it short, the dude who realized you can rebrand horniness as social justice. They curate their personality like it's a put-together outfit. They don't exist, they stage. And they do it all for attention. Mostly women's attention. And yes, we notice. Performative males aren't a new phenomenon, but the way it manifests has evolved. Unlike traditional displays of masculinity, muscles, dominance, or wealth, Gen Z's performative males are aesthetic, cultural, and deeply social media driven.
I like to read manga.
I had a suspicious feeling she might have other niche interests. What's your favorite?
Tell me.
Okay, that's niche. That's really niche.
You said niche.
They signal identity through curated tastes, fashion, hobbies, and emotional displays, often more about perception than passion.
For me, that I dress like this and get off like tough, sort of thing on. And then I cry kitty bitches in the shower. And I listen to C-Rose and Boy Genius. But,
Now, to really understand why these guys act the way they do, we have to look beyond their Instagram grids and TikToks. Because these performances don't just appear out of nowhere. They're stitched together from very old instincts, recycled social scripts, and the little dopamine hits of digital attention.
Performative males exist because it is innate in humans to perform to attract mates. Birds sing, peacocks flash feathers, and now Gen Z guys post moody selfies with Mitski lyrics and call it vulnerability. Social psychologists point out that this behavior is all about signaling status, getting social reinforcement, and exploring identity. Except now, the stage is Instagram and the applause comes in likes and comments.
A big part of it comes from insecurity and missing role models. Many young men don't build identities from scratch. They borrow aesthetics women already approve of. They assemble them like IKEA furniture and hope no one notices a missing screw.
Goffman would call it self-presentation. We call it method acting as sensitive boyfriend material, while carefully avoiding anything actually challenging. Connell's theory of multiple masculinities explains the social angle. The alpha male didn't disappear, he just got nerfed into consumable soft boy, safe enough to be liked, but still somehow exuding just enough sleaze to keep the fantasy alive.
In short, it's evolution, social learning, and insecurity rolled together. These guys aren't usually malicious, but they are very, very performative, and usually very aware of exactly how much attention each aesthetic choice will earn them.
Social media doesn't just amplify the performance, it structures it. Algorithms reward aesthetic posts and curated identities, creating a feedback loop where attention, real or imagined, becomes the main goal. These performances are less about self-expression and more about impression management in a hyper-visible dating market. Performative males aren't inherently bad. They're navigating complex social pressures and trying to craft identities in a hyper-curated world. But the cost is often mental health strain, shallow connections, and the tension between genuine passion and aesthetic projection.
Now, let's move from theory to practice, or in this case, from Freud to fuckboy. The first specimen I'd like to talk about is the matcha monk. This is the guy who treats drinking powdered grass water that smells like wet socks like it's a spiritual awakening. They're not drinking it because they like it. They're drinking it because it photographs well. He'll hold the cup at a 45-degree angle so the sunlight hits just right, like he's unlocking the 8th chakra. It's never about the taste, it's about the performance of taste. Matcha is cheap Buddhist cosplay for the performative male who can't commit to meditation. He's not chasing inner peace, he's chasing approval.
Another homunculus test tube subject, the male feminist ally. His social media bio says see him feminist, but he's DMing like, wow, you're so brave for speaking out. Wanna grab a drink? He's mastered the art of cloaking thirst and activism. You'll catch him at the protest holding a sign that says, smash the patriarchy, but the real patriarchy wants to smash is you. And look, being pro-women isn't bad. The problem is he doesn't actually believe half of what he's saying. He's not advocating, he's advertising. It's performative sensitivity rebranded as moral superiority. I know I've come across someone like this. This dude treats trauma like it's currency. He'll unload his entire therapy journal in the first 10 minutes of knowing you, just hoping you'll confuse pity with attraction. Flirting style is basically weaponized therapy sessions. Nothing like trauma dumping as foreplay.
From weaponized trauma to weaponized cuteness, the performance just changes props. These guys have a $300 toy addiction and apartments that look like a Build-A-Bear crack house. They'll frame it as irony. They're soft, approachable, and quirky. They adopt fandom-coded or cute items to signal sensitivity and irony, or whatever that gets them called wholesome. Once emotional vulnerability loses its edge, there's always the next refuge, pretending your Spotify queue is a personality. They own 5 records but will gatekeep music like they're the pinnacle of taste. They'll pretend to worship obscure artists, but Spotify Wrapped will reveal it's just Drake, Travis Scott, and Lo-Fi Girl. It's less passion and more cultural capital, branding themselves as unique and complex. It's less about the music, more about seeming deeper and more dateable.
Knowing underground bands isn't about music knowledge, it's about signaling cultural superiority. The unspoken message, I'm deeper than mainstream guys. I understand the art that you too should aspire to understand.
The most annoying genre of man to me has to be the dark academia LARPers. The ones that post philosophy quotes and haven't finished a single book since Diary of a Wimpy Kid. They post photos of candles, half-read books, and coffee stains like he's an aesthetic warlock.
He's not intelligent. He's just role-playing as a tortured genius, so girls think he'll write them love letters instead of ghosting them.
And not surprisingly, the gamer turned e-boy. They swap Doritos and Mountain Dew for black nail polish and a chain. They claim to be subversive, but they're just cosplaying the TikTok aesthetic women already validated 3 years ago. Inspired by Corpse Husband, they force their voices to be deep. They suck in their cheeks while staring into the ring light. You'll find them on Roblox hitting up minors, or flexing their Valorant or League rank like it's a 6-figure job. So why do guys keep doing this? Simple, the validation loop. Every like and comment is proof the performance works. Women's attention online becomes quantifiable and addictive, like a dopamine slot machine. And once one guy scores attention, 10 more suddenly just got into ambient Japanese noise rock or some obscure coffee beans.
But here's the problem. These identities are fragile because they aren't rooted in passion. They collapse under scrutiny because the identity is built for validation. It's always at risk of exposure.
Validation is the new hunt. Forget chasing mammoths or building empires. It's thirst traps and one-night stands now. Performing isn't inherently bad. Humans have always performed to attract mates. But Gen Z's reliance on external validation as the core of identity is dangerous.
When connections are built on being loved for the mask you wear rather than your authentic self, they inevitably feel hollow.
This constant need to perform, especially for women's approval, brings mental strain, anxiety, burnout, and even identity confusion.
Over time, when all of your hobbies, tastes, and interests are curated for validation instead of genuine enjoyment, you risk losing any sense of who you actually are.
The paradox is that many women claim to want authentic men, yet still reward curated, performative behaviors online, which only fuels the cycle endlessly. What if it's not a performance, but genuine taste?
Enjoyment and performance aren't mutually exclusive. A man might like matcha, but carefully staged photos reveal intent to be seen drinking it. Genuine passion doesn't require constant proof. Everyone performs for validation. Why do we single out men?
True, but men's performances are laser-focused on one thing. Looking dateable. It's not identity, it's auditioning. Shaping male identity through women's desires rather than self-defined values. This is better than toxic masculinity, is it not?
Yes, moving away from macho stereotypes is progress. But fake sensitivity is still a mask. Performing vulnerability is just another form of manipulation. Wouldn't feminine validation motivate self-improvement?
Improvement driven by trends is fragile. Real growth comes from internal motivation, not chasing what's currently being rewarded. If your self-improvement is based on trends, it's not growth, it's self-marketing. Clout burns fast. What's left after the trend dies? Are we being judgmental? Shouldn't we let men do what they want?
This isn't about dictating what men are supposed to do. It's about asking, is this for yourself or just a mirror of a woman's desire?
Maybe it's just harmless fun. So is crack, until your life is in ruins. A generation building their personalities out of Pinterest boards isn't harmless, it's empty. So yeah, not every dude posting normalized crying selfies is plotting like a serial killer. But the performative male, he thrives in the grey zone. Safe enough to trust, sleazy enough to keep fishing. Next time you see a guy posting shirtless pics with captions like, men's mental health matters, just know you're watching a sleaze speedrun.
Thank you for watching.
Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.